Finding Your Next program for me was essential with respect to the timing in my life. And the reason is I've founded several businesses. I think I was at business 8 or 9 that I was walking away from, a marketing agency that I ran after 18 years. And Cindy and the Finding Your Next experience was highly recommended to me by friends. And so, of course, word of mouth is super important. And I think it was just such an important time for me because at just over 50 years old, it was like, what am I going to do next? And I had all of this experience. I had a lot of knowledge in my profession, the marketing world, and just a lot of experience running a business too. And so actually knowing that Cindy came from a place of running her own successful business and selling it, and then walking onto the ranch and being immersed in the experience, it was just amazing. And I think that everybody has certain times in their lives where they have to answer the question, what is it time for now? And Finding Your Next is kind of an obvious answer, but you don't always run into a situation where it's like, oh, here it is. Here's the person, here's the program. And so I can't recommend it highly enough. For me, it was a game changer. It was a life changer. Finding Your Next, that program is very much, it's a one-on-one program. And I had just assumed that, oh, cool, it's some sort of group thing. And I was actually, because my personality, I was secretly wishing, boy, it'd be really nice if it was just like one-on-one. But I have to say, I get that a lot of people would kind of be like, whoa, wait a minute, one-on-one? You mean it's going to be me and Cindy for 3 days or, whatever, 2 days, whatever it is, right? It's like even the concept of spending one day with one person, one coach, I mean, it could feel like it's a little overwhelming as you think about it. But the reality is, and for me, Cindy's a professional, right? And so you walk onto the property and you're immediately greeted in a way that you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so happy to be here before you even get into conversation. And so my experience was, I can't imagine it not being one-on-one, having been what I've been through. And it's a very personal thing. And, one of the things I really enjoyed and appreciated was in the program, Cindy repeated to me a couple times, she said, hey, it may feel therapeutic, but this is not therapy. And I think that's really important to understand because obviously this is about your life, right? It's very personable. And you kind of straddle a line between what is the future for you and where have you come from, what does your past look like that kind of makes you who you are. I really appreciated that my experience was all about looking forward. And even though I could acknowledge my past with Cindy and get really personable, she was careful to say, wow, that's great information to know. And that helps me, as a coach for you, but this is all about what's next and what's moving forward. And that was really the most relevant and valuable thing for me anyway. Another thing that I really appreciated about the program was that it truly is an experience. It's not a Zoom call. It's not a kumbaya with 4 or 5 other executives. It is a one-on-one experience. You walk onto this amazing 35-acre property overlooking 2 sets of the most majestic mountains you've ever seen. And even if you're already in Colorado like me, you walk into this place and you're just like, wow. I have to say the other great thing about the experience too was that you find out really quickly that Matthew, Cindy's partner, he's part of that experience. He's going to take you to your accommodations, and you are going to eat with him, and he's going to prepare some amazing food for you. And so it's pretty incredible when you go through this multi-day experience, and part of it is you are sitting in this incredibly beautifully constructed home that the two of them have had a vision for and have built, and you're having dinner with them at a small table, glass of wine, wonderful meal, and it's just you and the two of them. And the thing about it is it's super comfortable. It's not at all awkward, and it's and that's just part of the experience. And in terms of being vulnerable, talking about what you want to talk about at that dinner table, it's totally up to you. And that's the other thing. There's like no pressure. It's just one of the most inviting experiences you could ever have. And another thing I really appreciate about the experience is that you are spending this awesomely dedicated amount of time with somebody who is living it out. And so what I mean by that is, this program is about finding your next, right? Well, here you are with an individual who had a vision about what her next could look like. And you are experiencing that like in the flesh, in the location, the animals, the 35 acres of land and property and solar and the constructing of the house, all of these plans that could like squash you in terms of how overwhelming that might be if you had a vision like that. But there it is. And it's like, it's proof positive. And it's just this constant underlying encouragement that you can do what you set out to do. And you've got this person now who's helping you figure out what that is. And at your desire will be with you long after. I think the $1 million question that everybody wants to know is, okay, sounds interesting. I've looked at the program. I've got the word of mouth referral or whatever. But at the end of the day, would you really do this? Would you recommend this? And for me, I've already recommended this to so many people. It's an easy yes. And so for me, it's been such a life-changing experience because I just have tools and language that I didn't have before. And so I would say if you're somebody who is, on the edge of trying to figure out, should I really do this? Should I not? I think it's easy for me to say there are zero regrets when you invest in yourself with something like this. And as somebody who has invested over the years in executive coaching programs that have been multi-week programs over the years, these are like $15,000 programs and above. What I can tell you is 3 days dedicated to doing this was just one of the most amazing things I've ever done.